Welcome back. Woo, 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 woo. Basic Mental for Witches. This is like a semi-solo episode. You got Jessica, and we have Gigi Grant back. Woo, woo, woo.
Hi. Hello,
Hey,
hello. So glad to be here. And so sorry Britt couldn't be here, but I'm happy to be here.
totally. No, this is great. It's kind of like having what is it, like a substitute host? You know how like on radio shows, like when like so and so is sick, or like Kelly Ripa was sick, and I don't what's his name? Ryan Seacrest needs a co-host. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel anyways. But yeah, so Britt's under the weather and little dude is also under the weather. So it's just it was like we could get her on, but she would be miserable and Harrison would probably not allow her to do that. So anyways, this is fine. This is fantastic. I love
This is
this.
great. Great.
Yeah. But we've obviously we had released your episode a couple of weeks ago, and this is kind of like our follow-up because from that first episode, actually what was it? I think I saw it hanging in the picture frame there. I was, or not the picture frame, but like you've got something here. I'm like, oh, sacred geometry. What? And I'm like,
Yeah.
we need to dig into that because it has been on my list forever. I've been interested in it, but haven't been able to give it my, the that I think it deserves. So that's why, that's one of the reasons, not the only reason we asked you back, but like you are a well of knowledge and you've got plenty to share. So I'm like, okay, let's just do this. Let's dig in.
Well, thank you. And I'm happy to share. And I'm going to say that I enjoyed the episode that I did with you guys last so much. I'll come back as many times as you want me to.
I love it. That's so good. I love it. It's like a resident expert on all things. I feel like
Well,
truly, I feel like you are that kind of person where you're like, of course, what would you like to know? Oh, well, let me just bring out this. And I've got, I and you've
thank
got
you so much. That's so
oh
kind. I have lots of knowledge. It's kind of like jack of all trades, master maybe of none or a few.
yeah,
But this is the thing about sacred geometry
yeah,
is that we've all seen it forever.
yeah.
However, we have not brought it into our consciousness.
Mhm.
And thank you for asking me to come back today to share this because this is one of the elements of the universe, the cosmos, that I use in astrology because in the chart, when
Yeah,
I see aspects between planets, it creates sacred geometry.
yeah.
But even before that, I always had an affinity for numbers and shapes and colors. And it's like, it's just all cool. I kind of nerd out on the details of things.
Yeah.
And in my journey in astrology, I realized, holy crap, Batman, I've been like working on this stuff forever. And so has everyone else. So I hope
Yeah.
that today everybody gets to have a little bit of oh
Right?
moments.
I feel like we're gonna get some like I always say it's like the final key to be like, oh, it makes sense. Of course it does, Like I love when that's just like, how didn't I
Yeah,
realize it before? So this will be great for foundations of a little bit of what, sacred geometry is, because obviously when we say that term, we're praising who now? Because when I think of sacred, I think of like holy, ground and stuff like that. Then of course geometry, if I were to put it in layman's terms of like math, are we going back to like what? Are we going back to school? But I suppose there's got to be some sort of calculation in that somehow in terms of like degrees, right?
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So,
For people on YouTube, they're like, what is she doing with her hands? What?
right. And for people who are listening to this on Spotify or on Apple or wherever you get your podcasts,
Yeah.
please come to the YouTube version so that you can see the things I'm going to share. I'm going to do my best to describe them,
Yeah.
but somehow that oracular experience with the words and the sharing of information, it helps to congeal it in a way that will be, I almost promised, etched forever in a way that will change how you look at everything.
Exactly. Oh my
Because
gosh.
sacred geometry has been, it's everywhere and it's in everything.
Yeah.
And interesting, you say it's math. Absolutely, it's math,
Yeah.
but
And
it's
I
also music
it is music. Exactly. Oh.
and it is the
Ah.
cosmos.
Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Where do we start? This is the other thing. I'm like, because when I think of like off the hop, this is before we dig into the dirty bits. But like again, thinking of like things we see every day that I'm like, oh, but what does that mean? Or what does that mean? This had come up last week. I always find that like my week ahead always has something to do with
Yeah.
what I'm, for what we're podcasting. What I don't write it that way, but it's like, that's why that happened. And I'm doing this paranormal filming show in Ireland right now. I don't know if yeah, so I'm doing that kind of stuff here. And I was talking with our crew members because what was it? It was, the evil eye that's in the pyramid, the
So
the
that's the
all-seeing.
all-seeing eye. It's not the evil eye.
Oh yeah, so bad. Sorry, not the evil eye, the all-seeing eye in the triangle. And I'm like, oh, like they're like, what does it mean? Like, like I used to know what it means. I think it has to do with like, of course, I'm like, oh, the Knights Templar, if you're a movie buff, or what's the other, like there's a couple different things, conspiracies around it as well. But now, I don't know, maybe that's not relevant to this
It
conversation, but
is
I'm like,
relevant. It
triangle,
is
yeah.
relevant. It is
Okay.
relevant. So
Okay.
what you're talking about dates back, well, I'm going to say several hundred years, and I'm going to
Right?
say more than 1,000.
Okay.
Let's start at the beginning. So the sacred geometry that everybody will recognize, hands down, whether you're watching or listening to this, is what, Jess?
Is is what? This?
What
I'll
do you
see.
think? Yeah,
Oh,
right. So
yeah.
the
Oh, the pyramids.
pyramids,
Duh.
right?
You
So
have a
this
picture for
is,
that.
yeah, and I have lots of pictures, which is why
I
I'm
love it.
encouraging listeners to
YouTube.
go
Go to
to,
YouTube. Yes.
yeah. The pyramids were built thousands of years ago. And it's funny, I had a conversation with someone here this past weekend asking them, so how do you think the pyramids were built? And they're like, well, of course, thousands of slaves and ropes and things. And I'm like, but dude, the angles of these are all at 51.5 degrees perfectly. So
Yeah.
do you think that slaves could drag them up that kind of steep? And I'm not trying to create
No,
another controversy, but it's
totally.
like they had technology then to create this. And
Yeah.
so when you talk about the eye in the pyramid that's on the top of the American dollar,
Yeah.
that has roots in Freemasonry.
Mm. Freemasons. That's what I was like. Oh, what is it? It's Freemasons. Yes.
Which before that was the Rosicrucians, which before that was the Templars, which before
Okay.
that was a whole bunch of other people. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
an expert on history, but I do like to understand where things come from.
I'm already loving
And
this so much, just so you
that
know.
all-seeing eye,
Yes.
is representative of the universal force that exists within us and
Okay.
that exists around us. And when I get to the sacred geometry for the pyramid, I'll
Yep.
talk a little bit more about that.
Okay.
But sacred geometry has been around for years, way
Right.
before we think, oh, math and angles, this is all it is. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, older than that. So can you think of another type of sacred geometry, Jess, that exists that people will recognize hands down, but go, oh, that's sacred geometry?
Okay. So I'm thinking of like shapes that we see. Like the sun, for example, is always traditional, or planets are round, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's one of them.
Okay.
I'm leaning more to so whoever built the pyramids,
Okay.
what other sacred geometry exists on the earth that was created by humans?
Okay. Around that time. Oh God. Like, oh, cool. Like, okay, so this is like the gates, or like the
This is Stonehenge,
Stonehenge. Oh my God. Again, like I'm like lost for words. Go ahead. Yeah.
and they exist in many places, different kinds of standing stones, right?
Yes,
And
yes,
pyramids exist in many places in the world beyond just Egypt.
yes.
But these ancient races had this ability to create these technologically complex creations
Yeah,
that intended to harness vibration and frequency.
yeah.
So I'll nerd out a little bit. The standing
Bring it.
stones
Yep.
are made out of a stone called Preseli stone.
Sally.
And Preseli. And those are from the Preseli Mountains in Wales. And this is an example of Preseli stone.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
for the listeners, it's kind of bluey, greeny, and it has white flecks in it. And I've never been to the Preseli Mountains, but I have talked with people who have, and they say that when you're in the mountains, when the wind blows through, it creates this vibration, which is at 110 megahertz. So
Okay.
when the wind blows through these, apparently you can hear a frequency that is moving through there. So we'll move a little closer to home in terms of sacred geometry. So if we
Sure.
think about our Indigenous communities.
Okay. So again, very like okay, so the teepee or a hut.
So the
Oh, sorry.
teepee
Oh
was
yeah.
built in a pyramid style.
Yes. Okay. I was thinking from a top view, it's like a round, but yeah, pyramid style. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting into how geometry takes shape, because
Yes.
yes, from a linear perspective, it looks like
Yeah.
a pyramid, but
Yeah.
from a top perspective, it looks like a circle.
Yeah.
And we'll get into some geometry that changes
Okay.
shape with view. But
Okay.
the image I have here is actually a medicine wheel.
Oh.
And this medicine wheel, for the listeners who are listening and not seeing, the image isn't so great, but you could Google this.
Yeah.
Majorville, Alberta.
Major. I'm
And it's
like
exactly
Googling it
the
at
way
the
it
same time.
sounds. Majorville,
Major.
Alberta. And it holds one of the oldest medicine wheels that exists in the Western provinces.
Oh
And
wow.
maybe even in North America. I'm not sure about that. So please, if I'm wrong, I'm making the caveat, I'm not sure.
That's
But
okay.
anybody can go and visit this space. And this is an Indigenous medicine wheel that was built like a couple thousand years ago.
Yeah.
2,200 years? Is that what it is there?
Okay, this is construction of this wheel began about 4,500 years ago. Now, I
Oh,
don't know
sorry.
the date of this article, but like let's be faced, fair to say about that. 4,500.
Okay.
That's
So,
2017. So yeah, over 4,500.
okay. So, it's safe to say that shape and geometry has been around since the human has walked the earth.
Yeah.
And as you noticed and indicated, the planets have shape as well. And
Yeah.
so that is also part of the sacred geometry. So as I said, we have math, we have music, we have color, and we also have the cosmos that is made of sacred geometry. And people are going to go, color? What do you mean color is made of sacred geometry? If you hold a quartz prism to the light, you will see the rainbow refracted through it.
Yeah.
And that is sacred geometry at work. The light, and you can't see it, like the rainbow,
Yeah.
right? The droplets of water with the sun create this arc,
Yeah.
which is another shape. It's a circle.
Yeah.
So it is everywhere and it is in everything. And so part of how I'll move through this conversation, and please interject with
Oh yeah,
questions,
totally.
all of this, there's numbers attached to each shape.
Yeah. Okay.
So vibration,
Yes.
frequency. So the first shape, as you mentioned, is a circle, and I'm just holding a circle.
Yeah.
And this represents the number 1. It would have a dot in it. And the number 1 in sacred geometry is a sphere, and in a 3-dimensional fashion. This is an aquamarine sphere. And if we were to look at the vibration and the meaning of a sphere and 1, it would be allness
Yes.
and no thingness. Because
Okay.
no matter how many times you multiply 1 by 1, it's always 1.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
this is a universal shape and number
Yeah.
that says that nothing can ever exceed oneness or no thingness.
Okay. It does
Does that
make
make
sense.
sense?
It really does. Well, it does. Yes, of course. Again, this is those keys. I'm like, oh yes. No.
Yeah. And everybody's seen balls and food shaped in circles and
Yeah.
whatever. You know, there's a vibration and a creation of that circle,
Yeah.
which creates something from no thingness
Yeah.
in this dimension.
Yeah.
But in the dimension that is invisible but felt, vibration, this could be source, God, creator, whoever it is that we subscribe to as being the all of oneness that we move into.
Yeah.
Make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Questions?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I'm sure I'll have more later, but yeah,
please do, please
digesting
do.
right now.
That's good. And actually, that comes up in sacred geometry.
Okay.
Digestion.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll
digestion,
get there.
eh?
So the next shape that I have represents two-ness,
Okay.
the number two.
Okay.
And the image that I'm showing is called Vesica Pisces. So it's two circles with
Yeah.
one in the middle. So the oneness is held by virtue of the two-ness being together.
Yeah. It kind of looks like a Venn diagram with the circle in the middle for those that are listening. But yeah, Venn diagram with like another circle in the middle, I should say. But I'll post it
Right.
online. Oh yeah, okay.
So this represents duality.
Okay.
So this could be light and dark,
Yeah.
left and right, masculine, feminine.
Yeah. It's like the same ways that we're different, we are the same. Wait, different and
Well,
the same.
so if this was a coin, it's
Yeah.
each side of the coin.
Yes.
And this is where the term paradox comes in.
Okay. Yeah.
Without light, we could not understand darkness.
Yeah.
And without darkness, we could not understand light. And they exist simultaneously.
Yeah.
The only reason we see darkness is because the sun drops and the moon rises.
Yeah.
And that's because our planet, our circle, is turning and moving,
Yeah.
and everything is moving around it.
Okay.
Big
Yeah.
concepts. It's kind of like,
Yes.
this is not intended to make anybody feel small. It's just intended to have people understand that number and shape and vibration is in everything.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So when we talk about the vibration of two-ness, duality, this is where sometimes people get stuck. It's like talking about working on the shadow side.
Yes.
And that's what Vesica Pisces articulates in an ocular exhibition, like you can see it.
Yeah.
So just to bring it back, it also represents the divine feminine principle,
Okay.
because this also represents what a yoni would look like.
I was gonna say, like, well, I do know, but yoni is a very good way to put it.
So it's
But
where things are birthed from. So if you
exactly
think
it.
about the Vesica Pisces, though it may not be a literal physical birth of another being,
Yeah.
when we are working with duality, we are in the constant state of rebirthing
Rebirth.
ourselves.
Yeah. Wow. So,
And so
okay.
two-ness reminds us that there is more than what the eye can see.
Yeah. That's lovely. That's really lovely. I love that.
Cool.
Okay.
It's
I'm
so cool.
sorry. It's
I
so cool.
nerd out on numbers so much. I'm just looking here to make sure I address everything. So
No, you're
the
good.
two also means balance.
Yeah.
You got one and you got another.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move into three.
So like a
And
triangle,
so,
probably. Oh wait, I
yeah,
don't
there,
know.
I was going
Okay.
to say for
Like one,
listeners
two,
and for
three.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a pyramid here. It's a triangle, and this would be the exemplar of a 3D triangle.
Yeah.
So if you saw it in real form, it would actually be like a triangle.
Yeah.
So when we talk about triangles and threeness, can you think of a couple of things that are represented by three?
Oh, the Trinity,
Yes.
right? Yeah, that'd be
Yes.
the big one for me. I don't know if that's it, but
So there's no real wrong answer, is what I'm
yeah.
going to say. This
Good.
is meant to challenge us and to like do mental gymnastics a little
Yeah.
bit, to expand the confines of what we are taught
Yeah.
and believe,
Oh,
which there's so
exactly.
much more.
Totally. And actually, my mom, well, actually, we grew up on the saying that everything happens in threes, right? Like,
Yes.
we are one of three, like me, my sister, and my brother, we're the three, the power of three, you know what I mean? And yeah, everything good or bad happens in threes. So it's like, if you sneeze in threes, we sneeze, you know what I mean?
And
So,
that's exactly it. So it's the power of three:
yeah.
the maiden, the mother, the crone.
Okay. The maiden, the mother, and the crone.
So
Okay.
like the maiden, the young
Yep.
lady, the
Yep.
mother who gives birth, and the crone, which is where I'm headed to, being the mother of others who are giving birth to others.
Okay.
So the three phases of life in that
Yeah.
respect.
Okay.
Um, the Trinity, absolutely. Red, green, and blue,
Okay.
primary
Red, green.
colors.
Yeah. Is red, is it red, green, and yellow?
Red, green,
And
sorry,
yellow.
I'm looking here.
It's
Red, green,
okay.
blue. No,
No,
no, because yeah, because red and blue make
make
purple,
purple, but blue and
and
yellow make green.
yes. So I
So that
have the
should be
three basic colors. We have four as
okay.
yellow, but the primary colors are red, green, and blue.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna challenge you on that. Like
Please do.
in
I
geometry,
welcome,
like I'm pretty sure
truly.
it's yellow. Primary color. I'm looking it up. It's like, and again, okay, this is really neat because it comes down into like the big thing. I
Yeah,
can't really
yeah,
share
the
my
big pie
screen.
shape. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's definitely red, blue, and yellow because yellow and red make orange, and
So
red and
okay,
blue make purple, and blue and yellow make green.
okay. So I sorry, I
Sorry,
wrote one color wrong. So okay, yeah,
really
yellow is
drilling
part of
it.
that.
Oh, but on the other one here, I don't know. I don't know because this
So
other
there's
one
a
is
couple
saying
of
green.
paradoxes in this, right? Like
Sorry.
the ones that I work with have red, green, and blue.
Let's do with
And
that. Let's do that.
and it's okay. Yellow can also be a part of it. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm going according to my learnings and teachings, and I have much to expand on.
No, it's totally
Um,
fine. I'm like commonly used primary color models, red, green, blue, cyan, or red, yellow, blue. So there's cyan is sorry, cyan, magenta, yellow. But yeah, you're fine. You're good. You're so good. I'm thinking
again,
like
I
the
I can
hues.
well, and there are many hues and many colors, and so this is
Exactly.
part of the vibration of the frequency that shows us color.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
appreciate you challenging me on that because, as I said, I'm not an expert. Like I stand to be corrected at any time.
No, for sure.
Um, the other thing is cardinal,
Yes.
mutable, and fixed. In terms of
Yes.
astrology, there's three frequencies there.
Exactly. Yes. In terms of astrology, is that yeah, that's just has to do with our zodiac signs as well, which is formal. Like, is there no, I'm thinking if there's four of them, but no, it's because there's three and there's four in each group then. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm just
Right.
mathing
Yeah,
over
no, you're
here.
right.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right. It's the base numbers that expand into other things. So if we
exactly.
want to talk about the body,
Yep,
in two-ness, we got 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 legs, 2 arms.
yep,
In three-ness, we have 33 vertebrae.
yeah,
We have 33 sets of nerves.
yeah,
So I'm just trying to illustrate that in nature, all colors exist
yeah,
because of this base of a triangle.
yeah,
And so the most commonly maybe overlooked one is the body, the mind, and the spirit at the top.
yeah.
And there's a reason for the spirit being at the top because from the base we move up into spirit.
Okay.
This is the
It's
process of
spirit is up, yeah.
evolution and ascension. Faith, hope, and love.
Yeah, faith, hope, and love. Yeah. Live, laugh,
Um,
love.
exactly. So there's all of the threes around us, but we don't necessarily correlate them to a shape.
Yes, yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense.
So
I, yeah, I'm trying to think now. I'm like, oh, what else is in threes? But yes, no, go on. Yeah, you're good.
well, but it's true. Like everything you said, absolutely.
Yeah,
And I'm offering more, not concrete ones, but ones that people don't necessarily like. We all have sneezes come in threes, good things come in three, bad things come in threes, like all the things that you said, which is so true, the Trinity.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
But when we begin to expand our thought process into, well, what
yeah,
else is there with the pyramid?
yeah, yeah.
So are we ready to move on to the next shape?
I think so.
And what do you think that one is?
Okay, so number four, I'm gonna go with like a square or
Right
rectangle.
on the money.
Okay,
Right on the
yeah.
money. It's a square.
Oh, good.
And so four is about stability.
Okay, yes.
You think about a foundation. Not all homes are made the way they are in North America, but we
Yeah,
say our four walls.
yeah,
And so other fours,
The four is rectangle. I think that's it.
So we have the four elements.
Oh, the four. Oh, sorry, what do you mean? Yeah, that's another four. The four elements, yes, or the four seasons.
Four
Um,
seasons.
the no, I'm thinking of the senses, but that's five. The four. Well, it's just it's balance, right? It's like, yeah, I'm just trying to think. It's even, Steven. It's I don't even know what else was there to go with four.
Four tires on a
Four
car.
tires, yes,
That balance, that stability.
yeah.
Four directions.
Four directions, yes.
What else am I missing here? Because I did make myself notes to make sure I didn't forget. So the four seasons, as you said, and the square is representative of Earth.
Yes. Okay.
It represents the
Interesting.
Earth signs.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Is there another one for astrology for four? Because we've got like the mutable fixed like the signs in that sense. Can we if the zodiacs go into groups of three, like four groups of three as well? I can't remember if there's anything that
So the
does
four
that.
elements, water,
Oh,
fire,
duh.
earth, and air.
Girl,
Yep.
I get it. I'm like there's gotta be something. Yes, the elements. I'm so sorry.
But
Yes.
we don't string them together this way on a regular basis, which is why I
No.
think it's so awesome we're having this conversation because
Totally. Yeah. I think we've chatted a little bit about like, I know we're jumping out of this a little bit, but like in terms of elements and where it falls in our signs, like I'm a Taurus, and I'm an earth spirit. And I know that because I like am one of those like I want to dig my feet into like grass and dirt and sand. And I always get like one of my signs for like creating or getting my hands, it's like the feeling of my hands in dirt and like oh, it's a rooted feeling. That's me, anyways. But then I'm also mutable. I believe. Am I mutable? I'm
so
the middleman.
Taurus is a fixed Earth.
Fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So we're like, yeah. I think we have an episode on that. I'd have to go back and listen to it, but yes.
Yeah.
The
So,
signs.
when you talk about roots, that's
Yeah.
foundations, that's stability.
Yeah.
And though roots don't come out in fours, it's representative of how a four would feel.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
The roots, the
Rooted.
stability.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's such an important thing, especially in like what we do, like energetically, is feeling rooted and feeling connected, safe. Right? A lot of those, and safe happens to be a four-letter word, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, other shapes for four is like the medicine wheel. So a square with a
Yes.
circle in it
Yeah.
with the four components. So, like
Yeah.
in that, we have the spiritual, the emotional, the psychological, and spiritual, emotional, psychological, and mental.
Mental. Okay.
Wait a minute. Is that right? I could be wrong there. But there's the four aspects that the indigenous groups with their medicine wheels
Yeah.
also comprise of. And I should know this. As we're just talking, it's eluding me, but
Okay. I'm gonna look it up. This is the beauty of all the things. Okay. Emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual.
okay. All right. So that was correct. Okay, good.
You got it.
Another way to exemplify four is the cross.
It's the cross. Interesting.
So
Okay.
this is matter, and this is
Yeah.
the horizontal line of the cross. And this is the spirit that comes through the element of the physicality.
Yeah.
So four quadrants. And when you think about kids playing hopscotch, how beautiful is that?
Right. And yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah. Or four square.
Four squares,
Like
exactly.
I'm pretty sure we played four squares a kid. I don't even know couldn't explain how to play it, but I know we played
It,
it.
there's a game called, I think, King's Cross that uses four squares, and you have to bounce the ball in between the squares between
It's
people.
King's Court. Okay, yes.
Or
Oh yeah,
King's
and then
Court, yeah.
yeah, yeah, we used to play that too, where I couldn't tell you how to play it. I'd have to go back and like talk to that version of me and be like, what? How do we do this?
But there's the geometry again in the games.
Yeah, exactly. From like
And
when you're a child as well,
right.
right? Yeah.
And so when you think about the four walls, the
Yeah.
four represents boundaries as well.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Interesting. Like
Foundations,
you're right.
boundaries, rooted. It's everywhere. It's
It's
everywhere.
everywhere. It's everything. It's every room you've ever been in. It's I mean, as we progress into the rest of them as well, it's like it's literally everywhere around us. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, well go on. Tell us what's what What else we
So
got?
another one that I just thought of that I didn't write down was we're born an infant.
Yeah.
We are a child.
Yeah.
We are a teen.
Yeah.
We are an adult. Or if you want to combine the toddler and the baby, you
Yeah.
know, preschool, school, adult, and then senior.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
the process of life and living.
Yeah. Exactly. It is exactly the growth of all. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a number that represents, the ability to be stable, but also, do we limit ourselves? Like,
Yeah.
growth isn't linear. And the square is the first 3D symbol really that we would see.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a triangle head on, it just looks like a triangle. But if you look at a square head on, you can see it has dimension.
Exactly. I just thought of another one, like literally like in numerical patterns. Sorry, my eyes itching me now. But like 100% divided by 4. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've got our quarters, our 4 quarters, literally. Anyways, okay, sorry. I'm
No,
like,
that's true.
yes.
That's
Like it's
totally true.
everywhere.
Like, we start to think about how it exists in everything,
Yeah.
and it removes the linearity of our narrow focus.
Yeah. Makes you think. You have to like sit. People listening are going to be like, huh. I hope they sit with this, all of this, and just like absorb it all. It's so much to digest, and it's as we get to digestion. But again, like these are like this is like one of the conversations that I've been wanting to have for a while because it's not fluff. Not saying all of our episodes have been fluff or you know what I mean. They've all been really good, but I've been like craving digging a little deeper. So this is what that's doing for me. So I hope everybody else is kind of in that
Perfect.
same zone.
And
So, anyways,
I'm happy to help satisfy that nerdy part of me
like
who loves to
yes.
express this.
Exactly. Oh, very good. All right,
That's
Gigi.
awesome.
So tell us
There was
what's
one more thing that came
yeah,
through here as we were talking, and I'm just trying to remember what it was. If it comes back to me, I'll share it.
totally.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the next number is, I
Ah,
know, in astrology, the square. Okay.
okay,
So
yeah.
the square in astrology is a point of tension.
Okay.
And if you think about the angle, it's two
Yeah.
90-degree squares put together, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't a very good square. Sorry, people,
Yeah.
for those that are
That's fine.
watching.
It's fine.
But in terms of that, when I said, that square is boundaries, but we're not meant to remain in that square. We're meant to expand. So the square in astrology, if you look at it from the corner point going out to the two sides,
Yeah.
you can see both sides of the room at the same time if you're looking straight ahead.
Yeah.
And the square is a point of tension, which invites us to decide what direction are we moving in.
Okay.
And in astrology, the triangle, the trine, is a circuitous movement of energy that just keeps moving. But the downside of it is it has nowhere to escape.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So
we
it's
get caught in a loop that doesn't end unless we intentionally choose, which if we ascend, it's great. But with the square, we
yeah.
go this way or we go that way. We have to
Yeah.
choose.
Yeah.
So that's another element of the 4 and the square.
Okay. No, that makes sense as well. Okay.
Okay, so now we move into 5. So
Five
5 is a
senses. I've
5
got that.
senses.
Although sixth sense, I'm always like, oh, but then there's always that one. But five
We'll get there.
senses, yeah.
We'll get there.
So five senses. What else is there? There's the 5 fingers and 5 toes.
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
know, the 5 features on your face.
yes.
What else? What else?
This one is probably a little bit more subtle than the
Okay.
obvious.
Okay.
But when I begin to talk about it, people will be like, really? And I guarantee some people are going to go out into the gardens if they're listening to this in a place where they have gardens or plants indoors. So 5 is represented by the star.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
5 points. So this would be like the 4 elements with
Yep.
spirit at the top.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we work with the 4 elements and spirit.
Yeah.
And spirit is the animating force.
Okay.
We could have fire. It burns and moves things. We
Yep.
have water, which can flood or wash things. We have earth, which can be very moist and fertile or dry.
Yeah.
And then we have air, which blows things around.
Yeah.
But each on its own is simply what it is.
Yeah.
When we combine them, we have an animating force. So if you spray water into fire, it turns into steam.
Yeah.
Or water into dirt, it turns into mud.
Yeah.
So that fifth element is the magical animating force. You see kids playing in the mud, making mud pies. That's that essence of spirit and that animating force of experimentation with the elements and creating something that wasn't there to start with.
Yeah. I love the phrase something from nothing. Sorry, like, or nothing, no thing,
Yes.
yes. Again, side note, because that's what we do. There's this old, I don't know where I got this book from, but I got it years and years and years ago. Like I'm sure I was 10, young. And it's called Something from Nothing. And it's based on like a Jewish tale about this young boy receives a blankie or like a blanket from his elder. And as he grows up, his blankie becomes smaller and smaller because it gets washed or it gets turned into this. And eventually it's just like this little handkerchief that he has. And it's like this something from nothing. Anyways, it's like, it's best. Anyways,
I love that.
I love it because it's like that never ending, because all the little scraps are actually turning into like the mouse at like the bottom of the thing, all of their, it's something from nothing for them. Anyways, I'm sorry. Okay.
It's true though. It's that animating force where we get to
Exactly.
understand that there's more to what we're holding or seeing than
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
the thing we're holding or seeing.
Exactly. Like the purpose of it goes far beyond its immediate use. Yeah.
Right. And so 5 is also the number of change.
Yeah.
Changes are happening. It might not feel good. It could be
Yeah.
struggle, but it's the number of change. So now in terms of nature, where 5 exists,
Yeah.
if you were to cut an apple
Yeah.
on the horizon rather than on the vertical,
Yeah.
you would see the same star in the middle
Yes, you would. Yeah.
with the seeds in it. And spirit would be that animating force sprouting those seeds.
Yeah. The power. Yeah.
Roses begin with 5 petals. There's a lot of 5-petaled flowers.
Yeah. Again, I'm like digging my brain to be like, what else is 5? Because I feel like 5 is so subtle. Is that we notice
It
things
is
that,
subtle.
yeah, what else is there? I mean, go on if you've got any other. I'm just gonna keep thinking here, but
Yeah, please do. So in astrology, when I see quintiles, which is 5, quint
yeah,
is 5,
yeah,
that is the animating force of magical creation.
okay,
And so in terms of astrology, Venus,
yeah,
her path makes a star.
yeah, or a pentagram. Is
Well,
that,
the
yeah,
pentagram, the star.
is that, yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
the same
yeah,
thing. We're talking
yeah,
the same thing. For
yeah, same
listeners, we're
thing, yeah,
talking the same thing. And so we just had a point of the star in Leo
yeah,
in June, July of this year.
yeah,
So it takes an 8-year journey for her to move and create this cosmological elemental sacred geometry.
yeah,
So when I see quintiles in a chart, it's a magical quality that that person can take thought and bring it into form in a way that is unique to them and their expression.
yeah,
So it
oh,
has
wow.
magical quality.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. That's so cool. It is a magical thing. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
And-
like you say, like some people are really averse to specific numbers for whatever reason.
Yep,
But to me, 5 is struggle, but
yeah,
5 is also the brink of that change.
yeah, exactly. It's the point of like moving forward as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So the next number is 6.
6.
And if you had
Okay.
to dream up what that might look like, there's a few things it could look like.
Okay.
So one is David's star,
Okay. Yep.
or the seal of Solomon.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Okay. So this is a 3D optic version of the 2 interlinked triangles, one pointing up, one pointing down,
Yep.
which would represent the primordial elements of
Yeah.
earth, or sorry,
Yeah.
fire and water.
Fire and water. Yeah.
So fire creates, like If you think about the energy of creation, it's
Yeah.
fire, and
Yeah.
primordial water that it's grown from.
Yep.
Now, this is in 3D form a Merkaba.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, please.
That's all I know. I'm like,
happen
oh
to
yeah,
have,
that's what that is.
right.
No, go
So
ahead.
this would be considered the sacred geometry
Yeah.
of the vehicle of the soul.
Okay.
Merkaba, light, body, spirit. Mer, light,
Okay. Yeah.
ka,
Okay.
body, ba, spirit. Did I get
Okay.
that right? I think I did.
Merkaba. Merkaba.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it is.
sorry.
Yeah.
Mer, light, ka, spirit, ba, his body. Sorry, I had them
Yeah.
backwards.
That's okay. Yeah.
So this is one of the most powerful shapes that exists, and you can buy crystals in Merkaba fashion.
Yes. Yeah.
And so if you think about if you had a 3D Merkaba, it's sending energy in all directions.
Yeah.
I have one here, but it's not here. I'd have to get up and go across the room, and I don't want to disturb the video.
That's all good. Don't worry.
But 6 is, so when we cast a circle, at least when I cast a circle,
Yeah.
the directions,
Yeah.
the 4 directions, the ancestors, and spirit.
Yeah.
6.
6. Yeah. I was thinking, what else is 6? Oh, I was thinking, I like literally was gonna say it, and I can't remember what it is. What is it? I just had it on my tongue. Anyways, go on. I'll interrupt if I remember
It'll
it.
come back.
6. Oh, what is it? Anyways, go on.
This is
Okay.
the flower of life,
Yes.
which has 6 circles with 1 in the middle. But this is representation of 6, of interconnectedness.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of these wooden plates, which are actually crystal grids
Yes.
that I custom create.
Oh, very good.
And I use sacred geometry, depending on the ask. What is it that you are working on to create? So as we've been moving through the numbers and the shapes, is there some place that you are struggling where it would be in your interest to meditate with the shape and the crystals and the number?
Yeah.
To
Okay.
receive the divine guidance of how to move with it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I've got questions regarding that later, but
Okay, sure, yeah, sure.
hold on to them.
So with this being the vehicle of the soul,
Yeah.
this is what bridges heaven and earth.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, as talking about magical qualities, Solomon's seal has a very distinct set of qualities and practices, and this goes back into traditions that go a long, long way back. It's also, you know, the Star of David.
Yeah. I'm just looking at like
Yes.
pictures of that. The seal of the 7 archangels, seal of Solomon, Kabbalah. Okay, sorry. It's like, what is that?
Kabbalah. So there's the Kabbalah, which people talk about.
Yeah.
Which is an entity on earth that is in operation. And I won't make any caveats about that. I'm just going to say that.
Yep. That's
and
fine.
then
Yep.
there's the Kabbalah.
Yep.
Which has the 10 spheres of frequency in it. It's the tree of life.
Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. This
and
is
that's
really
a whole topic all by itself.
all on its own. Okay.
It totally is. It totally is.
My goodness. It just shows you that this is even though this is like what I feel is a deep dive, there's still so many things.
So
oh my gosh. And sorry, go on. I never did get that other thing. Oh my gosh, sorry, my eyes are so itchy. It's like allergies are bad in Ireland. Always have.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's just me mostly. But okay, sorry. So we're at 6 or 7.
We're still at 6.
6.
So with 6, clear quartz resonates at 60 hertz.
Okay. As you said earlier.
Right.
I'm like trying to think, what else is 6? That's where my brain is stuck right now. Is there any other semblance like that you would see in 6?
So it's also balance. It's balance in a
Yeah.
way that, like, when I talk about, forward, backward, side to side, up and down,
Yeah.
that encompasses all aspects of space
Exactly. Okay. So it's
in
like
balance,
everywhere. Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
as I said, the flower of life is represented by the number 6.
Yeah. Okay. Because of the 6
Okay.
petals. Okay, cool. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's good. And so the next number is 7.
Yep.
So we all know some things with 7s. 7 days of the week,
Yeah.
7 musical notes, 7
Yeah.
colors of the chakras or the
Yep.
rainbows.
Yep.
I got lots here. The 7 Palladians.
Okay.
There's 7 stars in the Palladian. So you think about, like, people are talking to these extraterrestrial groups, like
Yeah.
the Palladians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, like
Yeah.
the Palladians are 7.
Or 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 7 archangels
Yes.
or 12
Yes.
archangels, depending on your belief system.
Okay. Yeah.
7 virtues, 7
Yep.
planets,
Yep.
7 organs in our body internally.
Yeah. Yep.
So 7, because we can't always see or feel it, has an otherworldly quality to it.
Okay.
And this is where our intuition starts to come into play. And so I dare anybody to draw a perfect 7-pointed star.
Yeah. I'm like tracing with my eyes. Okay. Okay. Leave room for because it's tight. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And so, there's a very specific set of degrees between these. So if
Yeah.
you divide 360 by 7, I think you get about 51,
Yeah.
somewhere
So,
in there. And if
yeah.
you're drawing the 7-pointed star, it's not as easy as it looks without a compass and a calculator and maybe even grid paper or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But this is the symbol of knowledge, and it's knowledge because it's not easily visible. You can't see your organs.
Yeah.
You can't see the virtues.
Yeah.
You can see the rainbows. You can see the planets if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And you can't see them all the time because day and night and
Day
where
and
they're
night.
moving.
Yeah.
The 7 chakras, we can't see them, but we can feel them or
Yeah.
have tools to help us see them.
Access them. Yeah.
Right. So 7 is otherworldly, and 7 is also the number of free will.
Okay.
And that's tapping into the cosmos or into the frequencies or the energies at a much greater level to tap into that free will.
Yeah.
It takes consciousness. And as we're moving through the numbers, we're
Yeah.
elevating in consciousness.
Literally, we're elevating. We're gaining more insight. Okay.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And now, oh, sorry, 7. Okay. Well, I had a thought there and it's gone now. 7, sorry, 7 represents, what was the term that you used?
Free will and knowledge.
Free will,
and
free will and knowledge. And it's like the growth of the power to use the knowledge is kind of what I'm like seeing again in that progression, once we've hit 5 and, 6, it's like, okay, it's we've chosen to pursue further, right? And push back that hard 5, that moment of 5. Sorry, it's
right.
next milestone.
So,
yeah.
In terms of astrology and otherworldly,
Yeah.
when I see very strong aspects of otherworldly in someone's chart, they often have psychic ability or ability to receive information from otherworldly beings.
Yeah.
And in order to exercise free will, we have to trust our intuition and our knowledge.
Yeah.
To make decisions moving forward. It's not always, this is round, so I'm going to go that way. Like those two don't make any sense.
You're right. Yeah.
It's a very deeply internal process that is connected to all the things.
Exactly. And, again, going to the unseen, our 7 organs that we can't see, but we trust that they are operating, and we put faith in the fact that my heart's going to continue to beat, even though I don't know how to make it beat, it is just going to do it. And that gut feeling that we get instinctively, right, is I can't see my gut. I know that that's not it's one of, the purpose I thought it was for, but we trust that. Anyways, I'm sorry. Again, I get into a ramble and then I get into
No,
like a
that's
little, like
true. That's
a
and
really
that's just
hyped
because
speech.
no, it's more than what I think. And this is what this conversation is meant to do. It
Yeah,
is meant to stimulate the greater from within. And we all have this divine knowledge. We just maybe all haven't uncapped that.
exactly. Yeah. Push for the knowledge.
Right. Exactly. Push for the knowledge. Okay. Do you have any other thoughts about the 7? I
I
like
think
7.
so.
It's a really cool number.
Seven's great. And when I think of the number 7, did you ever watch Friends?
Some, but not a
Okay,
lot.
okay, that's good. There's
But
like
no, go ahead.
7. There's Monica. It's like a scene
Your
where
listeners
she's
will get it.
maybe, I don't know if they will. Like, I literally, like, this is one of my worst things about me is like, I'm always like, oh, this is reminds me of that movie, or this reminds me of that show, or this is that song. I'm like the most annoying person I know. But Monica is, I don't know if she's describing like a sexual experience with someone, but she's like 1, a little bit of 2, and maybe a little bit of 3, and a little bit of 4, and then 7, and then 5, and she's like, and 7, 7, 7, 7. Anyways, sorry. Seven's
That's so
the,
cool.
yeah. Sorry.
No, I love that. It's like, for me, it's a true expression of the 7 that we can't see, but we know we felt
Yes, exactly.
and we can
Exactly.
describe in
Yeah.
some words. And even
Yeah.
that, it's like, what does that mean? But I'm sure in that frame of what you were watching, you could clearly see what the 7 was for her.
7, yeah. We could tell what 7 was for her. Yeah.
Okay, so the
Sorry.
otherworldly quality of it, that's a great example.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's beyond description.
Well, otherworldly, and that's what
Exactly.
otherworldly is
Yeah.
to me. It's beyond true
Absolutely.
description. We can offer describing, and even a download that's otherworldly for me. I
Yeah.
can explain it to you, but you will experience it in your own way.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. Yeah.
So there's a lot of uniqueness, and 7 is
Yeah.
not divisible by a whole number.
No, it is, yeah, a prime number. Actually, well, 3 is a prime number, right?
5
5,
is a prime
3,
number.
5, and 7. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So there's also a whole rabbit hole with all the numbers that
All of
way too.
those. I'm like, wait, yeah, what else is? I'm sorry.
No,
Got my math
there's a
gene
thing
working.
called the Fibonacci sequence.
Yes.
So it starts with 1
Yep.
and then 2. And
Yep.
1 plus 2, the next thing is 3.
Yeah.
And 2 plus 3, the next number is 5.
Yeah.
And 3 plus 5, the next number is 8.
Yeah.
And 5 plus 8 is 13.
Yeah.
And 8 plus 13 is 21. And
Yeah.
infinitum. That's
Yeah.
the Fibonacci scale.
Yeah. I had no idea actually. That's cool. What's the
I
Fibonacci scale used for?
So the
Sorry.
Fibonacci scale, no, if you were to Google it, and I don't have images here, which I'm like, damn, I missed the boat.
No, it's okay.
Sunflowers, pineapples, succulents,
Yeah.
cabbage, they all have a way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. It's like the big what's the word? Like a snail or a conch
A seashell,
or
a
whatever
conch.
seashell. It looks like they've, hold on. I see it over the Mona Lisa face as well. But yeah, there's
So the guy Leonardo da Vinci, he used
sorry.
the Fibonacci scale in
Yeah.
almost all of his work.
Yes.
So
And
this is sacred geometry in the perfection of creating.
My gosh. That blows my mind that just that as well in art, using it in art, and like, oh my gosh, okay. Like I can't even verbalize, like I can't even verbalize because I'm like, how do they know? This is the beauty of people though, and like history and all of this is it's been around forever. Like this mathematics is beauty. It is I mean, I'm a math nerd. I love it. But I mean, like I do love, like I enjoy numbers. I love seeing things. I love the meaning of things. I love, I love that kind of stuff. So this is really, I don't even know. Like I'm like, I don't know. Don't even know where to stay. I'm like
And
enjoying.
so, as I said, all of the numbers are reflected in nature in some way.
Yeah.
And this is what these masters did. They studied nature to create, replicate the divine proportion. That's what the Fibonacci scale is.
Yeah.
It's called the divine proportion.
Yeah.
And it's in the sunflower seed head. It's in the conch. It's in the succulent that you can see. It's in so many things.
Yeah. Yeah. The flowers of wow. The pattern can be, or sequence can be found in the patterns of petals of flowers, the whorls of a pine cone, and the leaves of stems. As the sequence continues, the ratios and the terms approach a number known as the golden ratio. Interesting. Sorry, I love this. Oh my God, the more you learn.
And that was one I didn't include, and not by intentional omission, but it's like,
Yeah,
how far do I go with this stuff?
literally, like there's just, you're right. Like it's, I think that's the beauty of all this is it's like it's in everything, everywhere in nature. I'm just like the huge spiral galaxies in space. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. This is where we're like, okay,
Yeah.
mind blown too much. Let's go
Yeah,
back.
like literally blow your mind. And like
Yeah.
I promise you, once again, you will never see the world the same way.
Yeah.
Once
You'll be
you know,
looking
you
for
can't
that.
unknow and unsee.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
you know, man thinks that they have the corner on creation. They got nothing on nature. We
Yeah.
have learned how to adapt materials to create things, but the original divinity of number belongs to nature.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
have
seriously.
taken all of our pages from nature's book,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah. We got it from somewhere, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, water,
Yes.
H2O,
Yeah.
you know, that's a derivative of the number 6 once again.
Okay. Because hydrogen, okay, and then 2 oxygen. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you were to count the numbers of atoms or whatever it is, and I'm not a chemistry, I failed chemistry in school. It wasn't my thing. If I had been explained chemistry this way, I probably would have done really good.
I'm like gonna Google it. How many atoms in H?
Or particles or whatever it is. I don't even know the right words. And there'll be somebody out there who's listening who does know this.
Okay.
But
Oh, yes, it's only 3. It's only 3
so
in H2O
H2O,
of atoms. That's how many atoms it is because the elements, right? Because there's only one atom. There's one atom in hydrogen and there's 2 in oxygen.
okay.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah, no, but so then you go to 3, that's 3. And
Yeah.
the next divine number is 6, and the next divine number is 9.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how many times you add or subtract those 3, 6s, and 9s or multiply them, you
Yeah.
always come back to either 3, 6, or 9.
9. Yeah.
1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6.
Yeah. Plus 2 plus 3. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't have the corner on this knowledge, so to speak,
Okay.
but I understand the vibration and the frequency of it as I
Yeah.
work through it.
Yeah.
And so water, you know,
Yeah.
O2.
Yeah.
There's something with the chemical makeup of water. If you were to look at it, when it freezes in a snowflake, which is 6.
Yes.
That's what it is. When you freeze water, it makes a 6-sided element.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the 6 in the water. When you freeze it, it creates a snowflake is 6-sided.
Yes, it is. Okay. Sorry, I'm like again, I'm
I
like, I
just
need a
remembered
visual.
it.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, it is.
So
So sorry, I'm just
there's
like,
the 3, there's the
yeah.
6. Yeah. So isn't that mind-blowing to see the
Yeah.
numbers like show up right in front of our eyes with things that have been around us all the time?
Exactly. The tiniest fragrance to like the largest things as
Yeah.
well. Like the largest things that we've ever seen or can comprehend. Yeah. Okay. Wow. I'm like, literally, I'm like, do you see my brain is like everything, everything, everything.
It is everything. It is
It
everything.
is everything.
Literally.
Everything is everything.
It is
Right.
everything.
Ryan's gonna think I'm like high as a kite when I go to bed because I'm like everything. Everything and
I love it
nothingness.
so much. So much. It's so good.
That's so funny.
Where are we?
Right.
We're at the number 8.
We are at 8, which I believe if I were to put a digit or like something on it, would it be the infinity?
Yes.
Okay,
The
cool.
lemniscate.
Oh,
Yes.
the lemniscate. Okay, cool.
That's what it's called, is the so 8, or
Yep.
the infinity symbol, the
Yeah.
lemniscate.
Yeah.
And so that's representative of the infinite potential that
Yes.
exists.
Yeah.
There is no beginning, there is no end. 4 is a derivative of 8. So when I look at a chart, those are half squares or squares and a half,
Yeah.
which have as much power as a simple square.
Yeah.
Eights, so 7 notes.
Yeah.
And if you were to take do and
Yeah.
add it to the other end, you now have a new octave.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let's sing that out. Right? Like, yeah. Yeah.
So the repeat of the first note creates the octave, which is
Yeah.
8.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, okay, I'm going to go into the other side tangent because that's what we do. But
Please do.
in regards to music, right? Okay, I did music growing up, like I did clarinet and I did saxophone, but I never really learned how to like read music. I like learned fingerings on the instrument. And I'm like, I don't know what note that is. It's not a I on TikTok. I don't know if you're on TikTok, Gigi. Are you into
No,
that? No, that's
no.
okay. And my advice is stay far away. But I found like this person who basically breaks down like a little music lesson into like a minute. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've learned so much in such a like in like literally doing music for like 10 years. I don't even know, maybe not 10 years, but like 8 years, whatever it is, grade 6 to grade 12. Um, and like I've learned so much more than I did in that like comprehensive time, like hours per week versus like minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, I could play the piano tomorrow if I really wanted to. It's like, yeah.
And
Anyways,
you
sorry.
could.
Music. Music is
No,
a brilliant thing. It's truly, yeah, it's brilliant.
it's
I
in the
don't know.
numbers.
It's
It's
in the
in the
numbers.
numbers.
It's in the numbers. And I'm like, of course, like again, it's like, what is it? The 5 bars, like five, like I'm thinking of like your sheet or whatever, your 5 bars, your 4 spaces, and like all the thing. Anyways, I'm sorry. This is a whole other
But you
conversation that I'm
see
like,
how it
but
goes
I
on
get.
and on and on.
Yes. Just is
And
infinite. Yeah.
the clef at the beginning
Yeah.
looks almost like a lemniscate, and I know it has its own,
Yes.
but
There's a
like,
treble clef and then there's a bass clef. So the treble clef is the one that's all the
okay,
loop-de-loops. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
all right. So again, we're looking at symbols,
Yeah.
geometry that carries a frequency.
Yeah. And I wonder, I gotta like, I'm gonna like get that the oh God, what's the symbol that we were just talking about in number
The
7?
lemniscate,
Not the
lemniscate 8.
lemniscate, the number is it
Oh,
7 or
the
6?
5 point, the 7-pointed star.
No, the the number one. The last nope, what is his name? I'm gonna go back in my Google search here. Fibonacci sequence. I'm gonna look at the
Oh,
Fibonacci sequence in comparison to the treble clef. Sorry, I'm just thinking of like, oh my God, there it is. Okay, sorry, go on. So sorry, I brought us back like 5 further
don't
steps here.
apologize. This is what this is about, is like the
Yeah,
mind-blowing revelations that come. It's like the gates open and it's like, wow, there it all is. Like, it's craziness. It's
literally,
beautiful.
it's beautiful. It's crazy beautiful. Okay, all right.
So
Okay.
eights, we're going to go to eights. So we've already
Yes.
talked about the infinite
Yes.
availability of
Yes.
frequency to move.
Yeah.
But eight,
Yeah.
can you think of an 8?
Um,
We should have a game show.
should have a game show, exactly. And I would freeze under pressure. I'm really good ahead of time. I'd be like, oh, I probably have like a journal filled with them, but ask me under pressure, and I'm like, crickets, just crickets. Okay, 8. Well, 8 again, we talked about like, the connection to 4. So when I think of like another layer of like protection or grounding, do I mean like a second
Yeah, could be.
top?
Yeah. 100%. The
Cubes,
stop sign is an
stop
8, right?
signs are 8. Yeah, exactly.
So it's a symbol.
Yeah, what else?
Um,
A dice, state
spiders,
size. A
spiders have
dice
8
is,
legs.
I
No,
think,
dice is 6.
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, wait a second. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, spiders have 8 legs. What else? Octopus is 8
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well, which is interesting because when I think of like an octopus, I think of like a spirit animal octopus. I don't know, just anyways.
Yeah. Tentacles, yeah. I do too.
Yeah. Okay,
So
okay.
there's also like crabs have 8 legs.
Yeah.
So the
Okay.
things that scare us,
The scary things.
the things
Yes.
that we can't explain.
Exactly.
It's also about the Eightfold Path in Buddhism
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
and the 8 seasons in the pagan wheel.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
We have the 4 seasons, and then we have the cross-quarter holidays.
Yes.
So another 8. So 8 is very much about shifts and changes
Yep.
and progress. And in some ways, I believe it also represents new beginnings, because when a season ends and a new one begins, it's never like
Yeah.
especially here in Canada, we could get snow in May,
Yeah.
but
Literally. Yeah.
you feel the season changing, and it's like a breath of fresh air in the spring, and it's a new beginning,
It's a new
new
beginning.
babies, new leaves, new flowers, like, and in the
Yeah.
fall, like we're coming up to the winter solstice.
Yes. Exactly. Which is, yeah. Yeah.
So that's the time of deep rest, recovery, repose.
Yeah.
Everything goes dormant. So there's distinct energies around 8.
Yeah. Wow.
9.
Okay. Yeah.
9.
9. 9.
9
9.
is the number that is beautiful, because my business is called 369 Amor
Three,
Fati.
6, 9. That's right. Yes.
So I use the numbers as frequency, right?
Yeah.
In all that I do. And there's 9, I don't know how to say this word, solfeggios,
Okay.
9 frequencies for healing.
Yep. Okay.
And 9 is the ending
Yep.
before we begin again.
Yes, exactly. For the double
We get,
digits before the next. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Because okay. Yeah. What's the symbol for 9? Is it like
So 9 doesn't really have a symbol per
okay?
se.
Yeah.
At least it does, but not in a clear way that I can see it. So like, if you have, say, 2 triangles,
Yeah.
one at the top, one at the bottom,
Yeah.
you would have 9 faces
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
if they were like glued together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that particular shape has a frequency.
Yeah.
Decahedron, is that what that's called?
That sounds right.
No, that's
Oh.
10. I can't
Oh.
remember.
Yeah. What's
It's
that?
one of the platonic solid numbers anyway, which is a whole other rabbit hole that I'm not moving into. But
Nope. All good.
as 9s, we carry babies for 9 months. We have, oh, you know what? I lied to you. There is a shape. Oh, Enneagrams.
Okay. Enneagram. Oh, it's beautiful. It looks like a tiara.
Kinda.
So the
And then we
circle's
have the
included
9
in that? Oh, sorry.
9 personality types. 9
Nine
personality
personality
types.
types. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I'm a 7.
I don't know where I am on that scale, personality
So it's
type
not hard to
wise.
figure out. That's something, that is easy enough to do.
Yeah.
But the 9 is representative of great evolution.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you think about gestation of a child, after 9 months, your baby's born, and it's a whole new beginning again.
Yeah.
What else do I have here? Oh, in the shamanic tradition, there's 9 worlds in the underworld.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So numbers are everywhere and in everything.
Yeah. In like
Cloud
in
9,
oh yes, Cloud 9. Yeah. Oh, like it's on the tip of my tongue, but there's more. There's more. Yeah.
dressed to
Then
the nines,
you dress to
9
the 9.
lives.
Yeah. 9 lives. I have like 9 realms stuck in my head, but yeah. No, that's the. Oh, interesting. I'm a in terms of numerology, my like one of my power numbers, like when you add up my birthday or whichever,
Yep.
I'm a 9. So like looking at like the symbolism for that, like I've really resonated with that. And I'm like, yes, I naturally am a 9. Just the master,
That's
one
so
of the
cool.
master numbers. It's like an elder number, is what I always like
Yes, it is.
associate it with, is because it's like incorporates like the childhood 3 and like the adulthood 6. And like I'm a little bit of everything below me. Do you know what I mean? I'm a
That's
little bit of 1 through 8.
and that's true. And
Yeah.
that's the progression
Yeah.
of the movement,
Yeah.
evolution of a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
9. Yeah.
it's so cool. It's so cool. 9 also represents the peace and compassion, and it's the guardian of all the numbers.
Yeah. That's, yeah,
As you
that
said,
makes sense.
you're at all of those numbers up to that point,
Everything,
with that
everything.
point.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. The guardian, I
Um,
like that. Sorry?
and so there's 12, we could go on forever, but 12 months of the year, the
Yep,
12 signs of the zodiac,
yeah,
like there is number in ratio and everything.
yes, yeah,
Everything. 12 apostles, the 12 tribes of the world.
yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm like, again, I'm like, I don't even know where else to begin, but you know that they're everywhere. It's gonna be like, as I'm like, after this is out and aired, people will be like going through their daily lives and be like, oh, there's 12 of that, or oh, there's 4 of those. It's like, yeah, of course. Like, and this could be readily in nature or it could be man-made. Like it's, but we've at one point it was a factor in the strategy to build that.
Well,
Interesting.
we didn't have computers and phones and things, so people had to figure it out
Yeah,
and build things like, Pythagoras, he
yeah,
is the granddaddy of all number and shape.
yeah,
And he's the one that all in the universe is frequency and vibration. That's his
yeah,
words.
yeah, yeah,
And if you want to go through frequency and vibration, when we have, and I've got a picture here of all of the chakras,
yeah,
right? There's 7 chakras, and each has a color, and each has a shape, and each has a vibration, and
yeah,
each has an expression.
yes, yeah,
So it goes through everything, in everything, the
yeah,
Indians, the Chinese, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Italians,
yeah.
through the Renaissance, like number and frequency and vibration has been there through it all.
Third, oh,
And the
yeah.
more man has grown, the more we have come to learn. But isn't it funny? We don't learn about the vibration of number in this time and place.
No, exactly. It seemed to lost its connection there. But I mean, as we're regrowing and the rebirth is happening and all this stuff, it's that interest is sparked again, back to
Yeah, it
basics
is.
kind of thing. Yeah. I was gonna ask you, oh yeah, is there any other ones that you want to chat about?
So I have 2 more shapes here to
Oh
share.
yeah, go ahead, let's get, yeah, and then I'll save my questions afterwards.
So this is Metatron's cube,
Okay.
and this has 13 circles in it.
Yeah, okay.
And you can see there's squares, there's triangles, there's rectangles. So
Yeah.
basically, this shape encompasses all of the other shapes in some way,
Okay.
shape, or form.
Yeah.
You could find the shape in it. And so Metatron is an archangel, and he's the archangel of number.
Yeah.
And I had an experience about 7 years ago where he was the first archangel that I encountered. And it was just like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
And so, in terms of gridding, this is one of the most powerful shapes because it has both the Merkaba, the
Yeah.
triangle,
Yeah.
it has in the center
Yeah.
the flower of life, not the seed of life, which
Yeah.
is a whole other shape altogether.
Yep.
This has 19 circles in it.
Yep.
Sorry, this is the flower of life.
Yep.
This has the seed of life in it, which I had shown earlier
Yeah.
in one of the grids.
The 6 circles. Yeah.
With the 7 in the middle. So this has such power to it. And this is the one that I first started gridding with many years ago. And it has transformed my life. It really has. And Metatron is one of the archangels above the 12 archangels.
Yeah.
So when you think about math and number in the world, you think about the numbers we've been talking about and the shapes. It is the archangel of all that is in nature.
Yeah.
The last
Sorry,
shape I have.
my brain's still like,
I know, it's just like,
yeah.
this could have been 4 episodes probably.
Literally. Okay,
So
I was
is
wondering. Yeah, go ahead.
a
Sorry.
spiral.
Yeah.
And so this is the one that in this form, it looks like the conch or the
Yeah, the shell or
golden
the
ratio, the
Yep.
Fibonacci.
Yep.
But if you were to turn this,
Yep.
it would be a spiral that you could see.
Yeah.
And this is how the universe moves.
Yeah.
Everything moves like this. It's not like a static sun with planets that move around it.
No, exactly. We are all like moving forward or wherever,
We're
which
all
way.
moving.
Yeah.
And this has relation to labyrinths.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when we talk about the exemplification of nature and where we are,
Yeah.
a labyrinth kind of looks like a brain.
Okay.
And it has either 3 concentric circles or 7 most often,
Okay.
or 11. And
So-
again, prime numbers. But this is where the digestive process is in the labyrinth, is that it looks like our intestines.
Okay.
And the
Yeah.
labyrinth is literally the symbol that we walk through for birth, death, and rebirth. It's
Yeah.
also part of how we digest information, how it nurtures us, and what we eliminate and let go.
Yeah.
The labyrinth is also very much the shape of our brain.
Yeah. Like I'm
If
looking at a picture of it right now. Like,
so, you can see how
whoa.
the brain would look like that.
Yeah.
The brain also replicates. If you were to open a whole walnut, you would have 2 halves,
Yeah.
which looks like a brain.
Which looks like a brain. Oh my God. I'm like literally my brain is like in a happy way. It's like there's just so much. It's like it's beautiful and it's like a maze, right? It's okay. So I'm just looking at like the labyrinth
And
information
I'm
here.
sorry to the listeners if this is a episode that you have to go over a few
You
times,
have
because there's a
to
lot
watch
here.
it. That's okay. I know there's
Yeah,
so
but
much
watching
here.
it, there is a lot here. And so the spiral is also exemplary of, if I want to bring in divine knowledge, power, transmutation,
Yeah.
healing, the spiral can bring it down. But the spiral can also send it up to source, to oneness, to transmute it. So
Yeah.
we are never separate and alone. All of these shapes are interconnected. And Metatron's cube is considered to be the divine sacred geometry, because it
Yeah.
holds divinity and knowledge.
Yeah. Wow. So now, okay. Okay. Sorry, was there any other ones before I dig into my other questions here?
Well, I've exhausted the material I
Okay.
have in front of me.
That's a good sign. I mean, like we know. Wow. Um, so in terms of like using these grids, because we've mentioned grids a little bit here on like how would anyone use them daily or weekly? Like where do you find the space to do this? Is it in a meditative practice? If it is it during manifestation? You know, where can we apply these to our lives?
So the last video that I did about this new moon in Scorpio talks about the phoenix rising, because that's where
Yes.
we are as a new moon. And
Yes.
that seed moon
Yep.
is part of where we're going in the next 4 months. So
Okay.
if I was wanting for myself,
Yep.
if there was things that were percolating
Yep.
and I wanted to plant seeds, I would work with the seed of life.
Okay.
And I would be choosing the crystals that resonate with me.
Okay.
I use my birth chart to help me decide what it is that I use. And there's
Okay.
times where, like, aquamarine is my birthstone. So I work with aquamarine a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
soft, it's beautiful, it helps connect to the angels. And I would set my intention.
Okay.
So I would choose the crystals that resonate with the seeds that I'm planting.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if it's something, say I'm working on creating more confidence and self-expression, which would be my solar plexus,
Yep.
I would use yellow crystals.
Yeah. Okay.
I would use ruby.
Yeah.
I would use those that I could co-create with
Okay.
to support my intention being planted.
Okay.
And because this has 7 circles in it, this would be a really good chakra tune-up kind
Yeah.
of, because you could put in the middle the chakra that you feel needs the most support.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I didn't have a lot of sense of empathy, safety, security of my person, that might be a sacral chakra. I'm having blocks in creating something, because that's where we create as
Yeah.
women,
Yeah.
because we have a womb.
Yep.
I might put a raw carnelian in the middle to
Okay.
really help amplify what I'm trying to create with the other chakras.
Yeah. Okay. So now you like as you've picked out your crystals, you lay them flat on like an altar type or or dedicated space to them. Do you do any written intentions, put it underneath, on top? Do you like, what? I'm just thinking of how anyone could do this. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I think it's so accessible. But I
Yes.
for one, I had a grid back home. I don't think I brought it with me. No, I might brought it. I'm not sure. But I'm like, I just don't know. I don't want to misuse it. You know.
Well, so what I'm going to say is if your intention is correct, it's like creating spells, it's like creating
Yeah.
intentions, it's like creating anything, a program such as this.
Yeah.
You come into it with the intention of creating something that will be of service. And
Okay.
so I'll go from the beginning. If I'm going to use the seed of life,
Yep.
I'm going to choose the crystals that resonate with the intention of the
Yep.
seeds I wish to plant.
Yep.
This is Baltic birch.
Okay.
And so I use specific materials, but you could literally print a shape and do it on paper at
Do it
home.
on
Like it
paper.
doesn't
Huh?
have to be Baltic birch.
Yeah.
And I would be sitting with the Baltic birch if this was what I was doing, because birch has healing properties.
Okay. Yeah.
Birch bark has like acetaminophen type of properties in it. So it helps to heal the body.
Okay.
So I would be thanking the birch for the offering of this wood to assist me and
Okay.
remembering that I have roots and I have roots here and I have seeds which I wish to develop roots. And from these seeds will grow a canopy,
Yeah.
honoring the Baltic birch. I
Okay.
would choose my crystals, I would clear them,
Okay. Yep.
I would then charge them.
Okay. I
So
should say
clearing
for
and
clearing.
charging.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. I was just going to clarify, but go ahead.
So clearing crystals, depending on the type of crystal, you can use water, you can
Yep.
use plants, you can use incense, smoke, smudge. You can put them in the moon to
Yep.
clear them.
Yep.
New moon, full moon, moon cycle, depends what you
Yep.
want. There's 8 cycles in the moon. That's another thing that I missed
Yeah.
for 8. Um, and then once I'm ready to sit down, yes, I would write them. And yes, I would put them underneath
Yeah.
as part of it. I
Yeah.
would be asking the crystals and the birch to co-create these intentions with me.
Yeah.
As I said, the quartz has a vibration. They all have vibration.
Yeah.
And I'm asking them to work with me to create what it is that I wish to create. And so how I charge my crystals is with my breath,
Okay.
speaking my intention of creating these new offerings that I wish to bring to the world
Yeah.
and blow on them.
Yeah.
Your breath is the best thing you can use to charge them.
Yeah. With that intention powered behind it, it is a mighty thing. Yeah.
Thought into form.
Yeah.
And air is an element.
Yeah. Where thoughts go, energy flows, guys. That's exactly. Yep.
Exactly. And I would set them on my grid pattern,
Yep.
and I would use a crystal wand of some type. It could
Okay.
be a generator that
Okay.
has a point,
Okay. Yep.
or a raw piece of crystal that, and I don't have one beside me,
That's okay.
that has a point,
Yep.
to repeat my intention and connect them together to the focal point.
Okay.
And I would visit my grid daily. I would offer thanks to the elementals for co-creating with me, which, by the way, 9 is the
Yep.
number of elementals.
Okay.
I just remembered.
Yeah.
And this grid will stand as long as I wish it to.
Okay.
And once I've completed it, I will offer thanks. I will offer gratitude for the co-creation. And this is the important part. This is where separation comes in. I did this, I did that. Well, my guides and I did this and that. The
Yeah.
crystals and I did this and that. The elements and I did this and that.
Yeah.
We worked together. And this is
Yeah.
part of where the world, I feel, needs some help, is remembering there is no separateness, because the number 1 is oneness.
Yeah.
And we are greater in totality as oneness than in
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm like, my brain is like so like, oh my God. I love it. On the other styles of grids, because obviously you've shown us like the seed of life here. Like, for example, because I've seen lots of pictures about, other people have their grids and and all that. And I think it's such a beautiful art. Again, this comes back to like the beauty of it, is you can make these beautiful dedicated pieces like filled with intention, for a fuel purpose. I've seen people like connect the dots with like smaller crystals. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got your main points with one, and I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. I know that there's no rules because it's like what you being called to do. But do you have any other advice for somebody who maybe like is looking to start kind of this as well? Like, do you want to say, yeah, decorate it how you want, or keep it simple?
So I would say, if you haven't worked with crystals much, it's like any other medium
Yeah.
of frequency. Pick a shape that resonates with you. And you don't have to know everything about the shape or the crystal. You have
Yeah.
to just have an intention of
Yeah.
service
Yeah.
for yourself, for others. Like when you ask for an intention to do some shadow work, you're actually being in service to others because you're bringing forward those qualities that prevent interactions moving in a way that expands.
Yeah.
Because we keep hitting walls when we're in conflict, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you can't do it wrong. You won't break the crystal. It's not that the intention won't work if you don't remember every single step. It is a practice. Working with the shapes and the frequency is practice.
Yeah.
And I would say, start with a crystal.
Yeah.
One crystal is the one.
It's the one. Yeah. Don't
Create
overthink
a
it.
grid of oneness.
Yeah. Maybe
Oneness that I will accept myself in wholeness and in totality.
yeah. Work your way. It's like the 12-step program.
Yes.
Is that what it is? I think it's 12 steps.
Yeah, there is a 12-step program.
Right?
Yeah, for a
Yeah.
lot of different
Working
things.
exactly. But it is like you've got to work through every piece and like check it off because it comes with expansion of self. So, oh my goodness. Again, I'm like,
get to know it,
yes.
get to know, begin the process of observation of what you notice that is different.
Yes.
And, it doesn't hurt to do a little bit of homework to check out what is the vibration of the crystal
Yeah.
and what is it meant to do. And some don't like water. So,
Yeah.
you
Oh
may
yeah,
wanna
definitely do your homework on that. Actually, Kim Kranz, who does like one of my favorite decks, she's an author of tarot and she's an artist
Yep.
as well, she did a course a while back about, in regards to tarot anyways, but working our way through like the major arcana. And it was like, you just take one and like spend a month with it. Maybe a month's not or too long, whatever, but like get to know what this card means and what it makes you feel and what your thoughts are, what it reminds you of, and really like build that foundation of meaning for you, because it's different for everybody. But that's a nice way to put it in terms of crystals, because it's infinite. There's so many different ones out there, but I mean, if it's important to you enough, then I think you'll invest that time.
Right.
Yeah.
There's some basic crystals to start with. You can start with the 7 chakras and,
Literally,
that goes by color. So do you even need to know what they mean in terms of the frequency? If you know about chakras and the colors and how those are intended to work with different parts of you in your vibration,
yeah,
pick a
exactly.
place, just pick some place and start.
Literally,
And
exactly.
it's embodiment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Day by day embodiment. Having
Exactly.
the experience of being with the grid, the crystals, the shape, the number. I've just poured out like a whole wheelbarrow full of information here this afternoon.
Yeah.
And it may feel overwhelming and it may feel like it's too much. But if anything, if all someone remembers is that nature holds all of the shapes and the numbers, you will begin to see them.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like everything is beautiful. We talked about octopus and the elements or whatever, right? And I was saying, oh, the octopus comes to me. I was just looking at my elemental power tarot, because I told you before we started, like I didn't have my other ones. So, oh, this is what's popping out to me. I didn't realize there's tentacles on it. You see this? I'm like, what?
I
Because
do,
it's got the
yes.
elements on there. But I'm like,
Yes.
oh, anyways, so I was just like,
So that looks like the Merkaba there,
it
or
does look
the
like the
Star of
Merkaba.
David.
Yeah, it looks like the
Yeah,
Star Date. No, it looks like a Merkaba, I think. That's like it's cut off Merkaba.
yeah.
But oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my God, this is literally, this is my mind
So,
blown.
the Merkaba is the vehicle for the soul. Our
Yeah.
bodies is the vehicle for the soul. The Merkaba is the divine connection to that sacred knowledge.
Yes.
And so if the octopus is in there grabbing around, what does that say to you?
Yeah. I don't know.
But that's the beauty of these kinds of tools, is we learn to embody the archetypes. And I'm
Yes.
going to say that shapes and crystals have archetypes.
Yes. Yeah. They must. They must do. Right? There's oh my God. I also have an archetypes by Kim Kranz, her like deck as well. Because there's oh my
And
God.
that's the one that I have here today.
Oh really? Oh, that's so good. I have it as well. It's back there. But I love it. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
This is
And
the one that I chose because of the numbers and the archetypes that come with the numbers and the archetypes that come with the shapes.
yeah. Oh my goodness. So is it the one by Kim Kranz? Is that the one that you're
Yeah,
doing? Oh,
yeah.
I love her. Sorry, I'm like a fangirl, like times a million.
So am I. I have all of the decks she's put out so far.
Same, same. Like, actually, did you see that she's got a board game?
I did see that and I haven't bought it because it's like, I need this or I want that. Right now it's
Exactly.
just a
So the
question
need
of,
it's a I would like, but I wouldn't use it. Nobody would play with me. I'm too aggressive in my board game. Okay,
well, then you'll have
so
to come here and we'll have to get together and play.
deal. That my plan is to come in the spring sometime. That's the plan. We just gotta make sure that WestJet or whoever we can fly with is not gonna rob us blind with flights because we're paying for 4 flights. My daughter
Oh,
just turned 2, so it's like, okay, now it's 4 of us. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Well, if you want to go first, you are welcome to.
okay,
If you're ready, that is. If not, I can.
I am. Okay, so this is Althea,
Oh, yeah.
the polarity, the square, the duality, and like
Okay.
2 is half of 4, which is half of 8,
Yes, exactly. The flower
Althea.
petals.
Flower petals. So that's the 5. And then
Yeah.
we have copper, which
Yeah.
is also 5
Yeah.
because it relates to Venus.
Yeah.
Copper is Venus's metal.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say that this is a point of contraction
Okay.
and expansion. It's an
Yes.
opportunity. And you've heard the symbolism. Is it the dark that's taking over or is it the light that's taking over? And
Exactly.
in both, light is growing out of dark and dark is growing out of light.
Exactly. And they need each other to exist.
And the number on this card is 50, 60, 75, 77.
77.
So sevens,
Yeah.
otherworldliness.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that with this, and I haven't ever drawn this card in the 3 years I've had this.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull the book because I want to get this right.
Please do. That's okay. Yeah, go ahead. Take your time. Take your time and go get it. You're fine. Don't worry.
It's right here. I even have it here with me, which is kind of a mind blower because usually they're all upstairs. All right. And so this is in the last section of this manual that she has, because there's sections in all of this.
Yeah.
And this is the section of, this is important. I think it's important. Okay. It's in the section of initiation.
Initiation.
So it's part of the initiation. And it's about truth. Our soul recognizes the truth when someone speaks it. A cool wave of relief washes over the room, and all the facts and figures in the world fall by the wayside, such as the power of Althea. It is undeniable resonance that goes beyond the rational. We also recognize Althea by its contagiousness. We hear someone speak truth and we see the truth within ourselves and are more likely to tell our own story. So Althea is the act of truth. And it might look like a conversation, a gesture, a poetic act, or a ritual that honors the unveiling of what's been concealed. Reclaiming your own truth is a way to reclaim your vital energy, health, and sense of well-being in the world. Truth has its wings and it will set you free. So when the light side is up, it's clarity, revelation, disclosure. When the dark side up is distortion, gaslighting, and excuses. And to go deeper, the goddess Ma'at. Okay, do you know the story of the goddess Ma'at?
No.
So she's an Egyptian goddess that at the end of life, when you are coming up to the place, the gates of transition.
Yes, keep going. Sorry.
She has a scale and she takes your heart and she puts it on one side of the scale. On the other side of a scale is a feather.
Okay.
And if you've lived your life well, the heart is lighter than the feather.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Mahat.
And
I had
so,
this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, when we hold truth, we hold ourselves in sovereignty and we hold ourselves in authenticity. And therefore, we are living a heart-led life.
Wow. That's
That's it. That's what
wonderful.
I got.
What's her name again? Sorry, Mahat.
Ma'at, M-A''A''T.
Okay. I was looking, I've got this Divine Feminine Oracle book, and I'm like, I'm sure I've seen her face in there, but I don't have it. It's not in the index, so I've seen her somewhere else then. So I don't see it on there. Yeah.
So I have a statue of Ma'at here, which I'll grab.
Yes, please.
So she's an Egyptian goddess, as I said, and this is just the color that I chose. But for the people who are listening,
Yeah.
she's a goddess that has a feather on her head.
Okay.
And she sits while she weighs on the scale your heart. And so there's some carvings on the sides here, which has different Egyptian archetypes on it and Egyptian characters.
Yes.
So this is Ma'at.
Ma'at. That's so interesting. And then also full circle back to Egyptian pyramids where we started this conversation, basically.
True story.
Oh, it's funny how that works.
You can't make it up. It's literally how it is.
Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna quickly pull here. So again, like we're thinking about like when this comes out, you know, what the collective might need to hear. Or oh, okay. I'm getting some like I'm trying to think like what I'm feeling right now. I see the letter E. That's like I don't know. I don't know why that's coming up here, but we'll
E is 5.
E is 5. Okay, cool. Let's see what else it says here. Anyways, I'm doing the full power, or sorry, the elemental power tarot. That's by Melinda Lee Holm. My mother-in-law. It's okay, you're good. Oh, thank you very much. How much do I owe you? I'll text him. Thanks, Jen. Oh, fabulous. Thank you. Sorry. I'll cut that out. Okay, so I am going to just see here. Yeah, I don't know what I'm feeling here, which is always an interesting feeling because usually I get like a little bit of an inkling. I'm just getting 2 cards today, so that's okay. That's fine. Okay, so first off, I have the 2 of Pentacles.
Ah.
And again, there's that octopus as well. You see that there. So again,
isn't that
obviously,
interesting?
In terms of balance and in terms of like opposites attract, this is a new deck to me. I'm feeling like I need to review it, which is fine because we're allowed to do that in this zone of things.
We are allowed to do that.
Yeah. I did an event last month and my brain is like literally been like numb. I mean, I feel like I'm still like recollecting myself. Okay. So when you're ready to make some moves, you're ready to make some moves. While they could be literal or as in a temporary or permanent relocation, these moves are just as likely to manifest as rearrangements of your material world. The knowledge that you have the power to shape your world is taking hold. As you survey the container of your life and its contents, play with seeing all things not as a solid and lasting, but instead of as different colors of clay, flexible and malleable. So the challenge is when this energy is awakened, it can be tempting to race forward with grand plans. This can prove quite disappointing. This is what I mean. I'm like, I don't know, my brain is like totally toasted. Sorry. This can prove quite disappointing when more information comes in and these plans no longer viable or desirable. Adapt to your situation as it unfolds and release attachment to the outcome. Okay, okay. The next one I have looks like, I don't know if that's the Queen of Swords. Let's see here. It is the Queen of Swords, which is this one, sorry. In there.
Oh, beautiful.
And actually it kind of reminds me of like the feather on her kind of crown there.
That's
We
what I
talked
was
about,
just thinking.
and like, and the tiara that, you know, is that number, was that number 9, right?
Number 9, the Enneagram, yes.
Like the master number. So water,
Yep.
air, the nurturer of communication. So your heart is longing to be heard and you have an emotional clarity to put these emanations into words. There may be feelings that you've had trouble understanding for months or years that can now be brought into focus. This is an intelligent time for healing old wounds, updating self-talk and self-care routines, and clearing up messy relationships. Journaling can help you get to the point of the view of sharpened before sharing with others. Sorry, journaling can help you get your point of view sharpened before sharing with others. If you choose, you are the most important recipient of your clarity. So the challenge is expressing emotions can be scary. Know that showing vulnerability is possibly the greatest display of strength available to us. Stand tall in your truth and trust that the universe will support you. Oh, okay. I'm happy with that. I was, again, like, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Do I do tarot? I guess I do. Anyways, that's what my brain spins. So
I think that's beautiful and very resonant of what we are now, because,
yeah,
you know, we had a new moon, and this new moon was a powerful one.
yeah,
So we had to choose, you know, are we going to dive into what it is that we're rebirthing from,
yep,
or are we going to allow it to just burn us right up?
exactly.
And
Yeah,
the last eclipse we had was Taurus, but the one before was Libra,
yeah,
and that's the queen for that eclipse.
that's the queen. Oh, wow.
She's the number 12 as well.
Oh, very good. Well, oh my gosh. Yeah, there's lots that we can take from this kind of episode here, but I think you know, we kind of said, you know, no matter where you look and no matter what you focus on, I think this is one of those, I mean, again, it's like a mind-boggling because it can change perspective in so many different areas as well, right? It can enlighten because we're always trying to enlighten people, but it also, yeah, just bring a different perspective of where things started and where things are going and how the little things we see and use daily. Yeah. Wow.
Yep, totally.
I'm like
Numbers everywhere.
numbers. I love a good math time. I'm like, I love
Me
math.
too.
Anyways, so good.
Me too.
And
I love math, love shapes.
love shapes. Love it. Love coloring. I love sounds. You're like,
We didn't even
okay.
go there today. We didn't
I
even go there.
know. I'm like, oh my God, but that's what I mean. Like, there's just so much to this that, like, you know, as deep as it went, it's still even just the surface, right? There's still so much to uncover there.
This is
Oh,
literally scratching the surface.
this is a series starter, I think.
This is a like million-mile-an-hour catapult into number and shape.
Literally. Do you see him like everywhere? Like I'm like looking at everything. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know, like you're moving at like a speed of light, and you're like, I can't absorb it all at once, but I'm doing well. We're gonna be good. Oh my goodness. I'm like, actually, and you know, I must say, after speaking with you about this kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, what do I have to do next? Do you know what I mean? And that's how you know things are like this landed and it's like fueled that little bit of a passion. I'm like, okay, where am I gonna set up my grid? I can't wait. I cannot wait to utilize this in my life. You know, I've wanted to for so long. Like I said, you've got the artwork hanging from there, and I'm like, oh, I've always wanted one, but I don't know. I didn't feel worthy of owning it because I didn't know. I didn't know how you know, what I could do with it. But now I can figure it
Yep.
out. Right?
Just begin where you are. There's
Exactly.
nothing, there's no error in it. And they're forgiving. They're
Yes.
co-creators.
Yeah.
The geometry will always be there.
Yeah.
Do what feels good for you.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm truly like elated. Like I said, I'm like at a loss for words because my mind is blown. I'm loving it. Well, Miss Gigi, thank you so much for spending such time with us and going like preparing to be here today as well. Do you know what I mean? Like I know that you put in a lot of thought and effort into this and all of your utensils, you know, everything that you've shown, your diagrams. And like I am so thankful that you and your passion for this has definitely been seen and comes across so strong. I can tell that this was a little passion project for you, and I'm
It
like
was.
so thankful that you put in effort without us even asking for you to show up and do this. It was like, hey, let's just chat about it. And here you are, you've shown up and you've done the damn thing. So really
Well,
thank you so much.
I have to thank you because it's like somebody wants to hear me talk about this. I get to nerd right out, and that's truly what it is. It's like, let's
It's
pull it all together, and
there
how
you
far and
go.
how wide can I go? And it's like, okay, this is a conversation, not a university class.
Exactly. But I mean, but this is the beginning of, the next for you. And whatever that happens to be there, like we've already discussed, I will gladly, you know, propel you and put you wherever you need to go. We'll do that together.
Well,
We'll
thank
get you
you. I
set up.
appreciate that.
Gigi, is there anything else coming up for the end of the year that you've got going on that we could tell our listeners about?
So what I have on offer right now is the year ahead for 2024. I use your natal chart. I give you a month by month sort of breakdown of the kind of frequencies and energies that are in your chart. There will be a 12 card pull with tarot and a theme for the year with tarot. And I will also be offering for each month a crystal that will help support you if you choose to use a crystal to support you. And there may also be some essential oil recommendations just depending on the frequency and if the person uses them. So it'll be very much personalized to each person. I'm
Wow.
only doing so many for the year ahead 2024.
Oh,
And as always, I'm offering mentorship, readings. I do lots of things. So
yeah.
if you go to my Instagram in the bio, there's links for all of that stuff.
Oh,
And right now, that's what's on the press, ready and available.
that sounds wonderful. And so where this episode is going to air here, I guess that, especially for the year ahead offerings, when's the last possible date for them to take up on that?
So I have on the link specifically for that a
Okay.
set of dates in there.
Perfect. Okay.
And,
So
once those are booked, those are booked.
those are booked. Those are booked.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the sooner you guys go to her page and check it out, then the better. So that's fantastic. And sorry, one more time, where can they find you on Instagram?
So 369 underscore Amor Fati. That is my Instagram handle where you find my link to all of my offerings, but specifically the year ahead and mentoring. So
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
thank you.
But well, everybody else, you guys can find us not on Facebook, sorry, Facebook, Instagram at Basic Banter for Witches. And then you can find us on what did I say? Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, Basic Banter for Witches. And then you can email us, yeah, basicbanterforwitches@gmail.com. So from Brittany, who couldn't be here today, and myself, thank you so much, Gigi. You're a fantastic guest, and I cannot wait to have you back again if you're interested.
You tell me what you want to talk about, and I
And
will
you're the
endeavor to create something that is within the realm of the magic that happens here. And thank you for having me back and
of
for
course.
listening to me nerd out about numbers and
I
shapes
love
because
it. It's all
it's one
good.
of my favorite things. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, my people, you have a great day and we will see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks for being here.